Hello, good evening or morning or whatever. It's time. I know it is time that we are going to be continuing Ace Attorney Apollo Justice. Yes. Yep, that one. We are in the second case of the game. We did investigation last time, and this time we'll be starting the trial. We're defending one Waki Kitaki on a murder charge. So, although he's potentially going to make it incredibly difficult for us, well, we'll see how that goes. Yeah. Otherwise, the only thing to note is that Phoenix got hit by a car. He walked it off. Well, maybe he didn't because he got a sprained ankle. And then I don't know. Several women had underwear stolen, and we found one of them missing underwear pairs in a trash can, and the other one in a tailpipe of a car. So, I'm sure that will have relevance to the case. And then the victim is also potentially... Well, the victim is probably the owner of the car that hit Phoenix. I do remember that much. Well... Look, I'm explaining it now because I'm impatient. And then we're just... once we're in it, we're gonna be in it. So... Just explaining while the first ad will... run, presumably, because I know it wants to run ads on the... Yeah. Wait. Oh ho ho. But yeah, I know the game's not on screen yet. I'm sitting on the file select. Say file select screen.
I had a request.
Oh, hide and seek guess. Lethal League Blaze Room 21 is the guess. I will say that's correct. So, there you go. You found me. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't think that that one would show up on a Google search that easily. But, what do I know? So yeah. That's a point for chat. I did. Look, if... I don't know. If it didn't come up like that, it probably would have been pretty difficult. Because it's Lethal League Blaze. Have you even heard of that game before? But yeah, that's where I currently am. It's room 21. Yeah. Do you recognize the Candyman? He's there. Sorry. Let me, post. Here. Bum, 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 bum. Hiding spot located. It is room 21 from Lethal League Blaze. Well, there you go. Yeah, so that's where I was. I thought this was a funny spot. Yeah, they're all the games that I can think of in-game locations for are games that I have previously played, not necessarily on stream ever, but I have played it. So, I don't know, my Steam library might be relatively vast. Yeah, so... But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of games that I've played that I've never streamed, so... Could be a really good hint. Okay, well, I should stop stalling, because I'm too excited to play Ace Attorney. But yeah, nice find on that one. If it didn't come up with such a generic Google search, then maybe I would have had you. It's okay. We're saving a spot that's I don't know, maybe it'll be kinda easy, maybe it won't, but... You didn't even know how it was called? I had a hard time finding the name of the level in the game even, but I knew it had a name. It took me a while. Oh, I see it. But yeah. It's Apollo Justice time. So let's go straight into it. No more stalling for me. We got a trial to attend as a defense lawyer. June 16th, 9:46 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby Number 2. Mr. Wright's not here today. He said that his old foot injury was acting up. Yeah. It might take me a little bit to remember voices since it's been like 2 weeks. Old injury? He was all smiles yesterday. Yes. He smiled when he said we'd be fine, as long as you're there, Juicy. Yeah, fine. We'll be fine. Here comes justice. I started my voice training at 5 a.m. this morning. Oh, do some now. I want to see, here. Hello. Okay then. My name is Apollo Justice, and I'm fine.
Cool. I'll give it a try.
Hide and seek guess nowhere. Dang, you got me. I didn't put a new hiding spot yet. That sounds more like a self-mantra than a voice training. I'm fine, you know what I'm saying. Who's this? Oh, it's the defendant. I'm fine. You know what I'm saying. Good morning.
Yo. Sup? Hit me with the guilty verdict, G. See if I care.
Lose the case, please. You don't like walkie-talkie? When the world dies just the middle of... You don't like walkie-talkie? Look, it's because his hair is supposed to make him look. He's supposed to look like a fox, kind of. I think.
You just hang loose and let things go with the flow. You know what I'm saying?
Not really.
Maki, don't be running your mouth like that in here.
We'll get the voices eventually.
See? That's the difference between me and you, old man. I ain't afraid of no cops. Real G's can't keep it real till they spend some hard time in the pen.
You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
Kitaki is Maoli to watch? Sounds like they've both been doing voice training as well, Apollo. My worst fears are realized. The trial's starting and I still haven't had a real talk with my client. Your Honor, my client's not guilty, but I want to ask for some jail time for him regardless. No. I mean, if that's what he wants, I don't know. That's not my problem. Which judge do we get? Presumably the same one. But it is District Courtroom number 4, so I don't know. June 16th, 10 a.m. District Court, Courtroom number 4. It's the old man judge.
Court is now in session for the trial of Waki Kitaki.
That's like not exactly how he was doing his voice before, I think. It's fine. The defense is ready, Your Honor.
And I'm ready to rock and roll, Herr Judge.
It's him. The guy from yesterday. He's a prosecutor. Are you sure of the voices right now? I'm doing my best. It's been a while. Clavier is German for piano. Yeah, German words would be something I'm gonna pronounce wrong. Look, the only bad voice is Big Win's Kitaki, so hopefully he's not a witness. It's Mr. Gavin's brother.
Ah, it's a long time no see, Prosecutor Gavin. Were you taking a leave of absence? You know that little band I started in my free time? Thing is, we got real popular. Hard to say 9 to your fans when 3 of your singles go platinum, ja? I see. To be honest, I was a little concerned. I feared that you might still be distraught over that one trial.
You know, entire families all practice law in this universe. That is true. Gosh, if let's see it. If Franziska von Karma shows up, I'm gonna have so much fun. I don't think she will, because that won't make any sense. But like, if that character shows up, I'm gonna have so much fun. Okay.
Now don't worry, Air Judge.
Franziska von Karma. Yeah. And obviously I don't like the old man von Karma. Although I think he's really funny because the playthrough I watched of the original game was RT Game and he did a very good job. Okay. Sorry. It's off topic.
I wouldn't miss this day in court for the world. It's worth even more than VIP passes to one of my concerts, ja? How could I pass up a chance to see the true strength of the little boy who bested my brother? It was worth canceling a show or two. Understood. You may now give your opening statements to the court. Before that, I was thinking. Is the air in this courtroom not a bit serious? It is a court of law. That's no way to get the crowd jumping, Air Judge. They are not supposed to jump. This is a courtroom.
You think he could do a pretty good Miles? Well, evidently he's a player in a band. How did he get his own BGM in the courtroom? That's awesome. Okay, sorry. This guy could totally be... This guy could totally be a Pokemon trainer. I could see it. He would have either Dark type or Poison type Pokemon. Probably Dark type. Okay. Okay. I'll try Aesthetic Pokemon. Yeah, I mean, he also could have a team of music-based Pokemon. I don't know what kind of band he has. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe he would just have like an Exploud or something. I don't know much about the meanings of rings on various fingers. Okay, let's see.
Ugh.
Ah. yeah. For the fourth ring fingers marriage. Okay, let me see if I can do this in this voice with like even a semblance of the correct pronunciation. Okay. Let me see. Oh, you say a ring on thumb means willpower, independence, freedom of spirit, and a strong personality. Okay.
Well. Achtung, baby. Today we play it my way.
I tried. You'd have to play Clavier because you can pronounce the German okay-ish. What's that noise? Wait, the BGM's actually in the courtroom.
Sometimes you have to get on up in order to get down to prosecuting.
I can't time it with him snapping. I'm trying. This is crazy.
The victim, Hal Maractus, director of the Maractus Clinic. The scene? People Park. He was found pulling a noodle stand. What in the world was a doctor doing pulling a noodle stand? Yes, I believe. You will only find that out by asking the defendant right here, right now.
Yeah, the judge's surprised face is really good.
Because it is an undeniable truth that he shot the victim.
Changing professions. Oh, you want me to say like my next words are yes he did so I can go home? But then I won't have a case. I want to have a case. Apollo needs the money, okay? I don't think Big Wins is gonna pay us if we Look, if the defendant doesn't want a case, that's on him. I can't stop him if we let him talk. What do you mean? Undeniable.
If you are going to glare at anyone, Air Justice, glare at the punk in the defendant's chair. His crime was witnessed quite clearly, you see. Very well. Please admit this witness to the court.
He pulled out the air guitar solo. Okay, sorry. Where did that guitar sound come from? I hope that's Apollo's next line. Yeah, that one I've got.
9. Not yet. First, there is a little matter to be cleaned up.
Could you talk without the accompaniment? Okay, that's epic. I swear, I could see the guitar for a second.
What is it, Prosecutor Gavin? The motive, Herr Judge. Why did the little punk do it? Why did he kill the director of the Maractus Clinic?
Not so fast. The defendant doesn't have to explain that.
Oh. But what if the defendant specifically requests to do so? As he did this morning. I want to give a shout out to all my homies, I believe he said. What?
What is right? They do always say, on the stage you should hit the crowd with speed and ferocity. Sounds like he got you good, huh, Polly?
Well, this is highly unusual. However, the court will now hear from the defendant concerning the motive of his crime. Allegedly. So, you, son, are the defendant. Waki, are you?
Well, this is highly unusual. Sums up entire Ace Attorney series.
I ain't your son, old man. You'd step to a Kitaki, you step to a Kitaki, you better be prepared to step strong.
You step to a public official. You'd best be prepared to step into jail.
You got to hand it to him. Waki sure has guts. It's not his guts that I'm worried about.
Well then, the court will now hear testimony on the defendant's motive. From the defendant himself.
Witness testimony. Waki Kitaki's truth.
I'll tell you one thing. That doctor was a quacker. Someone had to show him what's what. I was in his clinic about half a year ago. He messed up my op for something bad. Then he just lets me go without a word. See you later. Bye. So I gotta go in, get another doc to patch me up again. That was the day I done figuring it out. No OG's gonna let that pass. That's why I went to his pad that night. You know what I'm saying?
My understanding is that OG probably means, oh, yeah, that original gangsta. Yeah, I don't know. That's probably what he means there.
You're saying you were one of the victims of patience.
A lot of stuff goes down when you're keeping it real on the street. True that. I'll tell you one thing. That doc was whack.
Very well. The defense may begin the cross-examination.
I can't believe this is the first time I'm hearing about all of this. What was lack? First of all, the word you're looking for is quack. And isn't that a little harsh? He's your family doctor. Apollo, that's not something that we're supposed to admit.
Who asked you, pointy locks? Just who do you think you are?
Your lawyer? Perhaps? Perhaps.
Look, I ain't trying to hear that. He was a quacker, plain and simple.
So, you were a patient at the Maractus Clinic half a year ago. For what reason?
You see, I had what you might call a mark of honor.
Well, can you explain precisely what was wrong?
We had a little run-in with the Rivales family. Rivales family. That's when I pulled a jack move. And ran into an ambush. G busted a cap right in me.
According to my sources, you couldn't stand the stress of waiting and ran in 15 minutes before the appointed time by yourself.
Hey, I was more than a match for those guys.
So, you were carried to the Maractus Clinic. From there,
You don't get an appointment for a bullet? Yeah, I don't know.
apparently, he was shot in the heart.
Shot in the heart and he's still alive? Personally, I can catch bullets between my teeth. But I never learned how to catch them with my heart.
The bullet stopped just short of my thumper. Know what I'm saying? I'd have been golden if it weren't for that whack doc. Can't even take out a stupid bullet.
So, You say that that surgery was a failure.
That ain't all of it, Ohms.
What do you mean he just let you go without a word?
What do you think it means? It's whack. That's what.
I am not sure what that means, but it sounds bad. It sounds as though Herr Doctor wished to hide his mistake. This is why he let the defendant go.
He's a liar. Straight up. He's a badder G than me.
So, is this bullet is still...
You know it. I can still feel it. Right there in my chest. Pressing up against my heart.
Your words are like a bullet shot straight into my heart. Or something to that effect. Incidentally, that's from one of our hit singles. Well, that sounds like a straightforward case of malpractice.
Word, J-Man. Weren't no accident, and that's for shizzle.
It seems that there were issues with this doctor.
Man, putting him down was like doing the world a favor.
Waki, please consult your lawyer before saying things like that. Chin up, Apollo. Back straight.
However, why did this mistake only come to light that day? Well, it was found during the family health checkup.
The family health checkup.
That was the wackest thing of all. All us G's lining up, taking eye exams and all that. Better to die young than fade away. Bizoy.
Well, that is a relief to hear.
What's a relief?
Oh, did your father not tell you? That bullet you carry is so close to your heart. That bullet you carry so close to your heart. If not attended to immediately, it could kill you.
What?
Yeah. Herr Doctor Maractus had knowledge concerning this ticking time bomb in you. Knowledge that could have saved your life.
No way! That's whacked.
Well, I have proof. Your checkup report.
Waki's checkup report has been added to the court record.
How ironic that you would kill the one man capable of helping you. Why, you're almost as careless as he was. Well, now that the place is hopping, let's get this gig started. Started? We've had enough of a warm-up act, Ja. Time to hear from the witness.
Waki sure is quiet all of a sudden. I'm a little uneasy myself. Also, I'm not done with my cross-examination. It's a Gavin's strategy. I'm not done with my cross-examination. Okay, I don't get to finish my cross-examination. Apparently. Because Waki said that he went to the doctor's pad, but like, the victim was not killed in his home. So, yeah, okay.
So, you will tell us your name and occupation?
What kind of voice do I give this character? What the? Yeah, I don't know what kind of voice to give this character. My brain is empty. I kind of wanted to give the actually voice, but but if then he might sound a little bit too close to Waki, but we'll see. I think it's fine.
My name is Wesley Stickler.
That's too fast. I can't. Okay, that was too fast. Hold on. I'll deliver it perfectly, but hold on. Okay. Okay, now I know that this guy talks insanely fast. I'll try to lock in. Okay.
My name is Wesley Stickler. By occupation, I take it you refer to some labor that profits society at large and supports a livelihood, under which definition I must confess to being unemployed. However, we must acknowledge the meaning of identity, which is commonly attached to the notion of occupation. And once we have accepted this reality, we see that our confusion is not gestalt per se, but it derives instead from vagueness inherent to all representations of thought.
By which he means to say he's a student.
Okay.
By which he means to say that he's a student.
There you go. That's probably not quite as fast as he was talking, but...
You're a junior at Ivy University, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, in the Department of Science and Engineering. Filled with curiosity for all things, I spend my days in pursuit of truth, honing my...
Herr Stickler, please direct said curiosity to the case at hand today.
Very well, Mr. Stickler. Please testify to the court about what you saw on the night of the crime.
You ask quite simplistically what I saw, however...
He's actually too fast. Okay.
You ask quite simplistically what I saw. However, we must understand that Homo sapiens possess two eyes, each of these designed to receive and interpret data, sending images in the form of signals to the...
He talks way too fast to be able to read and... or even voice act. Yeah. Oops.
That night, I passed through the park on the way home from shopping when I saw them. One man pulling a stand, another man facing him. I saw them quite clearly. The man facing the victim was the defendant. In his hand he held, yes, a pistol. It was pointed at the man pulling the stand. A shot. The bullet hit the man pulling the stand from the front, square in the forehead.
Was there anyone else in the park at that time?
I can say with 100% accuracy that there was not.
The pistol that our witness refers to is this.
The court accepts this into evidence. Very well, Mr. Justice. You may cross-examine the witness.
Thanks, Judge.
Patient name, walkie-talkie, 19, male, report filed
June 14th. Notes, metallic object found near heart, urgent exam needed. It doesn't really tell you anything. Semi-automatic. Whoa! Don't point that thing at me! Don't worry. I can handle myself around guns. Of course you can, Juicy. Magic guns, at least. The ones that pigeons come out of. Very reassuring. Well, I guess the important thing is weapon left at the crime scene. 2 rounds were fired, fingerprints wiped. Yes, Your Honor. Trucy, why are you staring like that at the witness? That man. I can't help but feel I've seen him somewhere before. Are you? No. 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 Don't say that, Trucy. No. A night in the park.
Hold it!
On the way home from shopping. Why go through the park?
A fascinating inquiry, revealing me culpable of being insufficiently verbose. Let us consider the time saved by passing through the park on the way home from the store. In that time, I am capable of solving 2 GMAT problem sets. On average, it requires me 3 minutes 24 seconds. Ergo...
Okay, look, I don't know when he's gonna start going fast. That's enough, I get the idea.
In that time, I am capable of solving 2 GMAT problem sets. On average, it requires me 3 minutes 24 seconds to complete one such set. Ergo, the time to complete 2 on average is 6 minutes 48 seconds. However, in the case that the questions are in the verbal category, admittedly not...
That's enough.
Mr. Justice, the court hopes to finish this cross-examination sometime this month.
Please, I do have a recording booked after this trial.
And I've got a show to perform. Gee, sorry you're all so busy. Were these men talking by any chance?
Now that you mention it, they were, though I cannot claim that I heard clearly. Only fragments, such as you lied to me. Oh, and I'm gonna give you a taste of your own medicine, pal.
It's just as our defendant claims. I believe he wished to teach the victim what it felt like to take a bullet in the heart.
If that's true, then this is a vital piece of testimony.
Sounds like you heard them clearly enough to me.
Hold it. Might I be allowed to amend my testimony?
What now?
To be precise, he did not say pal, but man. Yes, that was the way of it. I swear on my diploma.
What's the difference?
And the other man, who was he?
How can you be so sure it was the defendant? The crime took place at night. It would have been dark.
Perhaps I was remiss in not mentioning this earlier. You see, in class, I always sit in the very backmost seat. Do you know why?
Who cares?
Because I do not wish anyone to copy my perfect notes.
And this relates to your testimony. How?
I mention this to illustrate my predisposition to that which is perfect. It was dark, you say, yet there are lights in the park. If I say the defendant was in the park that night, then he was in the park that night. It is hard, immutable fact.
He sure is confident. He seems to be telling the truth as well. Are you sure the pistol that you saw is the same one just submitted to evidence?
Am I sure? Surely you jest. Or so a common witness would be tempted to say.
Huh?
Yet I am no common witness. I see not only events as they are, but the logical structure governing these events. First, you must consider the fact that it was night in the park.
I was so close. I was so close. I was so close to being able to keep up with that. Okay. At one point, I'll get one of these first try.
First, we must consider the fact that it was night in the park, which indeed restricted my field of vision due to insufficient levels of illumination. Now, if we consider that the pistol, let us call it Object A, was indeed shrouded in darkness, it becomes difficult to say with certainty that Object A was indeed Object A.
Thank you, I need to drink water. I think that he means he could not see it that clearly. My badge for a normal witness.
Yet, the fact that a pistol was fired before my eyes is indisputable. I can still see it when I close my eyes. The defendant raised his weapon.
Are you absolutely certain that only one shot was fired?
Yes, of course it was one. Why do you ask?
A contradiction, finally. Mr. Stickler, according to the court record, the pistol was fired twice.
Objection!
A clear
Good eyes, and Justice. You're cool. Real cool.
You really think so?
Yet, there's no reason why this other shot had to have been fired that night.
Meaning?
This pistol came from the Kitaki family mansion, ja? I think it's not unreasonable to assume that the pistol had been fired once before that night. During, perhaps, another altercation.
He's got a point. But also, like... Isn't that not normally... I will admit, I do not know that much about firearms, but that feels like an inconsistency anyway. Judging from his smug expression, I'd say Prosecutor Gavin had that answer ready before you even spotted the problem. He does seem pretty confident in his testimony. We always make the biggest mistakes when we're at our most confident. He's got a weak point somewhere, Apollo. Find it. Right. Better give that testimony another listen. Single bullet to the right temple. Okay, so that's not a problem. Does this one have... Yeah, it has Walkie's prints. Okay, what do we got? I don't know, I think the only thing... Okay. Do we even have a clue for this? Okay, so... The only thing that I can see currently is that the gun has no prints on it, which means that there's no conclusive evidence that the defendant ever actually was holding the gun. We do know, however, that the defendant was holding a knife, which is approximately the same size as a gun. So, I think I'm going to present this shiv on this and see if Apollo makes that argument.
Objection!
This evidence clearly reveals a contradiction in that statement, Your Honor. Never mind, we're wrong. They aren't related, are they? Not at all, says the judge. I don't think that won me any points with the judge. Womp womp. Disaster. Well, I guess that would be how they could know. But wait, does this pistol not have a magazine? Well, like it just doesn't look like it's modeled with a magazine. It's kind of, well, whatever. Well, but then I'll lose more lives, and evidently we need it, because I'm missing something based on... Actually, wait, let me... Okay, the temple is the flat, slightly indented area located on both sides of the head. Located between the forehead and top of the ear. Okay, so the contradiction here... Okay, I'm just bad at it. Anatomy is hard. So, he was shot in the right temple, which means the contradiction here is that the bullet could not possibly have hit him square in the forehead. Being shot from the front, because in order for the shot to hit his right temple, he would have had to have been shot from the right side. That's the contradiction. Did I just have to look up where the temple is located? Yes, but autopsy report.
Objection!
Whew. If that's all of it, I think I have a chance.
Is that you relaxing? I see. Air Justice.
Oh, Objection! Objection!
Once is quite enough, Mr. Justice.
Apollo, face yourself. This trial is not over yet. Right. Look at this.
The autopsy report. Is there a problem with the report?
Right. A problem. Yeah, yes. The problem is the location of the entry wound.
The location.
You testified that the killer shot the victim square in the forehead. Did you not?
I have already determined your angle of inquiry. Allow me to explain. It's quite simple, really. First, understand that when I say square, I speak not of geometric absolute. What I mean by this. For example, the definition of a meter is the wavelength of... Sorry. I'm tilted. Why would he throw the number? Why would he throw the number? I could have done it. And then he threw. Then he threw a 9-digit number. The problem is that I couldn't read it that fast. Okay. I'll run it back. Let me drink some water. Okay. I was actually ready that time. But yeah. Here, I'll show you how someone can say that number so easy and so fast. Allow me to explain. It is quite simple, really. First, understand that when I say square, I speak not of geometrical absolute.
It's fine. I got it.
What do I mean by this? For example, the defection of a
Wait, that's the defection. That's not definition. Why is that defection? Wait, what the heck? Is that a... what? Is that a typo? Why is it defection? That's just like not the right word. Do I want to watch cave diving videos? That sounds potentially stressful. I don't know. Let me... Okay, that almost certainly is meant to be definition. Because that's just a really weird way to define what a meter is. Sorry. That threw me off so hard. Okay. Alright. I can run it back now. I'm gonna read it as definition because that's what I think, that's what I think we want here. Okay.
Allow me to explain. It is quite simple, really. First, understand that when I say square, I speak not of geometrical absolute. What do I mean by this? For example, the definition of a meter is 1,650,763.73 times the wavelength of the light emitted by a krypton particle, as we all know. In addition, it is a well-known fact that krypton particles are rare and invisible to the naked eye, which points to a basic fallacy in your line of reasoning, namely, that
Mr. Justice.
That's not the judge's voice.
Mr. Justice.
Whatever. I can't do that. Those two voices back to back, apparently.
Mr. Justice.
Yes.
What is your objection to these, krypton particle things?
This is the big time, and you're obsessed with something so small. You disappoint me.
No. I'm obsessed with something big. I mean, there's a bigger, less nitpicky problem here.
Do tell.
Just look at the autopsy report. The location of the entry wound was the right temple.
temple.
Mr. Stickler, you said quite clearly that the victim was shot square in the forehead. That's a contradiction, isn't it? It is, right? Finally.
Objection!
And justice. And justice.
Yes.
Your tactics are outdated, trying to shake the witness by objecting to trifles. Surely you have not forgotten the fatal wound your master suffered 7 years ago. Phoenix Wright, was it?
Look, I know the wound was in the wrong place according to this testimony.
Hey, error forehead.
Forehead?
Let us imagine you're walking through the park. You see 2 men facing each other, one with a pistol trained on the other. What would you do, error forehead?
Well, I guess, I'll try to stop them. I'd probably shout, "Stop!"
And you, Fraulein?
Me? Well, I'd probably scream. Eek.
And you, Herr Stickler? What did you shout, I wonder?
Ack. If the victim turned his head at the last moment.
Ah, yes. Thank you for jogging my memory.
It sounds like an addendum to the testimony is required.
A Night in the Park 2.
As soon as the killer raised his pistol, I took action. Cease this at once, you two. I cried with composure. The victim turned in the direction of my voice, and a shot rang out. Whereupon our cowardly killer, the defendant, appeared to have become frightened. Tossing the pistol aside, he fled from the scene.
I see. So you attempted to stop the crime.
Indeed. With composure.
Well, maybe the criminal wouldn't have fired if he hadn't shouted like that. Well, that particular point, it doesn't really matter now, unfortunately.
Let us consider the new testimony, shall we? Observe the diagram, if you would. The witness, Mr. Stickler, was it? Stood here. He shouted, "Oh, stop, please." Or, something of the nature. And the victim responded by looking in the witness's direction. If the killer were to have fired at that moment, as we can see, the bullet would have struck the right temple, just as in the report.
That does seem to be the case.
Witness the power of a junior in Ivy University's Department of Science.
Very well. Mr. Justice, you may cross-examine the witness.
Okay. Night in the Park 2.
Hold it!
So you saw a raised pistol. Were you not frightened?
It can be said we students of Ivy University know no fear. The moment I saw the pistol, my inner sense of justice compelled me to take action.
That certainly was brave of you. You might have gotten shot.
Why, you certainly were lucky. If I were in the killer's shoes, I certainly would not have left a witness behind.
He actually looks like he had no idea he was in danger.
Regardless, I attempted to halt the bloodshed.
Hold it!
Are you sure both men were able to hear you?
They were, of course. My high, exquisite voice echoed through the park.
And the victim responded to that clarion call.
Quite. The victim turned.
Hold it!
Did you hear the gunshot at the same time as the victim turning?
Indeed. I would say about the same time, to be precise.
And the victim didn't ask you for help.
It can be said that he did not have time to ask. He didn't even have time to take a single step.
I'm totally sure that the killer fired because Mr. Stickler startled him. Don't say that too loud, Trucy. Please.
Hold it!
Can you describe the killer's actions more clearly?
He seemed quite surprised, especially considering that it was he who did the deed. As we can see, human psychology is a tangled web indeed.
He simply could not believe what he had done. He shot, he panicked. A common tale, but true.
Unfortunately, before I could take further action,
Hold it!
You didn't try to apprehend the criminal.
it all happened so fast. I'm afraid I hadn't the time.
Doesn't something about that strike you as odd, Apollo? What? The killer was in a hurry, right? He fired the pistol and tossed it right away. According to the testimony, that's what happened, yeah? In that case, I would expect to find something that we did not. Find something? Find what? I liked that contradiction. I'm kinda sad to see it go. Not as sad as I feel. What do we do now? At the very least, the testimony is getting a little clearer. She is right. Maybe I can find something to use in the new testimony. So, the contradiction that I can see now with this testimony is the fact that the gun was wiped for prints. The weapon was left at the crime scene, but there were no fingerprints on the gun. I think that's what Trucy's getting at.
Objection!
Wait a second.
Tisk tisk. Another misleading request. Yet you're so beholden to your own mode of discourse, you can't see how it affects you.
Come again?
Wait a second, you say. A second. Are we intended to wait just that single second, 1/60th of a minute? That's hardly enough time to draw breath, let alone make a statement in court. Now, had you asked for a longer period of time, say 3 minutes and 35 seconds,
Mr. Justice.
Well, I mean, explaining my arguments is fine. Yes, Your Honor.
Am I to understand that you are objecting to the length of a second?
Yes, I mean, no. Here, just look at the pistol. It doesn't have a single fingerprint on it.
a common ploy made all the more common, I fear, by the prevalence of television. Criminals these days are loath to leave fingerprints.
Wait, but you said the killer tossed the gun and ran. That's right. He did not have time to wipe the gun for prints.
Ah, the little girl sticking it to the university student. There's a song in there.
I'm not little.
Well then, let's think like adults. Shall we, Fraulein?
Eh?
What if the killer, the defendant, was wearing gloves?
Gotta admit, I didn't think of that, Apollo.
Well, Mr. Justice.
Could the killer have been wearing gloves? No. There's no way he was wearing gloves. The record of the murder weapon is very clear about one thing. The fingerprints were wiped, which means some trace of prints remained. Which contradicts your testimony. If everything happened as you say it did, he would not have had time to wipe the pistol.
That may be, but it does not change what I saw. The killer, the defendant. He threw down the murderous weapon from his hand and fled. And this pistol was found at the scene of the crime, strongly suggesting this was the weapon he disposed of.
That sounds solid to me. Well, Air Forehead, any of your precious objections?
What gives, Apollo? Let's see the voice training. Let's see that voice training go to work. You know, I've only recently realized something. No matter how much you train your voice, it doesn't matter if you have nothing to say. What do you mean, nothing to say? Isn't it obvious from what the witness just said? Isn't what obvious? When he restated what he saw just now, he said he saw Waki drop a murderous weapon. But that's not the same thing as being 100% sure of what Waki threw away. You're right. He's just confused because a pistol was found at the scene. Poor Mr. Stickler. It must be so hard to be perfect and yet so wrong.
Well, it can be said that I'm quite offended. Well, it is indeed true that once in my...
I'm too slow, I'm sorry.
Well, it is indeed true that once in my youth I wrote a love letter in my own blood that was seized by the teacher and posted on the blackboard for all to see. And for this, the appellation poor might well be prefixed to my name. Yet, as for the issue at hand...
What we can say for certain is that the witness saw the killer throw something.
He wrote a love letter in his own blood. The teacher posted it on the blackboard for everyone to see. That certainly is just a casual remark to throw in there.
Does the defense have anything to say about this?
Well, if what he threw was not a pistol, it had to be something else.
At least one person on the defense team seems to be thinking.
I'll wipe that smile off your pretty face, Gavin.
Perhaps you can inform the court as to the nature of this something else. What did the killer throw away before fleeing the scene?
That would have to be the knife with his fingerprints on it, assuming that we're still placing Waki here. the pantsuit. The pantsuit. I don't think Waki had... Yeah, I don't... I'm gonna wager that Waki did not steal his mother's underwear. I'm gonna throw that wager out there.
Take that!
Is that a sword? I saw one of those on the late night movie last night.
Great. Sleep-deprived judge. This knife was found at the scene of the crime, with the defendant's prints on it.
His fingerprints.
This single piece of evidence proves two important things. One, what the defendant threw down was not a pistol. Two, the defendant was not wearing gloves.
Indeed.
Oh, hair forehead. You're forgetting about two other things you've just proven.
Well, I'm not forgetting. We just proved that the defendant was at the scene of the crime, and we also proved that the defendant was wielding a weapon.
One of which is that the man the witness saw was the defendant, Wakikitaki. 2. The defendant was holding a knife with the intent of harming the victim.
Oh.
Indeed.
Never underestimated Gavin is the lesson here.
This court is of the opinion that our witness is fond of making assumptions. In that light, I believe it would behoove us to hear about what really occurred. With less assuming, please.
It is always the same with you people. Mark left the house on foot, and 5 minutes later, his brother left after. How long would it take for Mark's brother to catch him? Assuming that Mark never had to stop for a traffic light. Assuming. Yes, that's what I said. Assuming. As if that were a probable situation at all. Yet here you are, assuming that my assumption is no better.
What this court assumes is that the witness will testify as to what happened after the shot was fired.
From shot to call. Water.
I could not prevent the killer from leaving the scene. Nor could I simply leave the scene in good conscience. Ergo, I used my cellular phone to call the police. Until the police arrived at the scene 10 minutes later, I saw no one else.
Why didn't you chase the killer? Well, because not chasing a killer is a reasonable thing to do, I would think.
He was, as you say, a killer. Of course, I could have run him down. Yet what would he have done when cornered? Sadly, it takes more than an aptitude for solving quadratic equations to know that.
Did the testimony earlier not prove the defendant's presence at the scene? And do we not also now know that there was no one else? It certainly seems clear that we have our killer. We have our killer.
You returned with food? What did you miss? Yeah, I'm snapping my fingers. I'm just not doing it consistently because if I was doing it consistently, I won't be able to. Yeah. I'm snapping. It's just Because there's no sound effect in game. So I can't help it. It's something I can do. Perfect. No, I did not do the guitar. I don't have a guitar.
Does it not?
Does it not, Mr. Justice?
Immersion broken. Get an electric guitar. That would be quite an investment. I don't know. I kind of don't want to play the guitar, cause then it would make my fingers not as soft, right? Oh, I guess you could use a pick, but I don't know. I'd better find a way to take this testimony down quick. Yeah, I think probably my hands are frail. But yeah, basically, well, we're still trying to break through Stickler's testimony here. Wasn't your first thought to call an ambulance?
It can be said that I have dabbled in medicine. The injury I witnessed, namely a single shot to the head, tends to result in death. Ergo, there was no need for me to call an ambulance. Oh, a perfect syllogism. A proof in 3 parts. Exquisite. Simply exquisite.
I don't think I know what that word means. Syllogism definition. It's an instance of a form of reasoning in which a conclusion is drawn, whether validly or not, from 2 given assumed propositions, each of which shares a term with the conclusion, and shares a common or middle term. I see. E.g., example, all dogs are animals, all animals have 4 legs, therefore all dogs have 4 legs. He actually looks like he's going to cry. Objection. A hot dog does not have 4 legs. But presumably a hot dog is not a dog. Except for name only. But yes, you are correct. Look, the definition of the word did not say a syllogism has to actually be accurate. Okay, we'll press this. I'm doing this out of order. But which way did the killer run?
By that time, it was clear that the killer had noticed me. Naturally, he ran in the opposite direction.
That would mean he ran in the opposite direction from the Kitaki mansion.
Octan. Don't even think about pointing out that he was going away from his home. All he had to do was loop her back, once he was out of sight.
How did he know that's where I was going? You were certainly composed for someone who had just witnessed a killing.
If one is to devote oneself to the pursuit of science, one must never flinch at the sight of a little blood, nor be so moved by a chemical discovery that one drops one's flask upon the lab room floor.
Ooh, cool answer. Very cool.
Are you sure about that one, Clavier? Nothing strange about how he acted. Trucy looks like she has something to say.
Hold it!
Can you tell us in detail about these 10 minutes?
I stood in a state of heightened awareness. Anything could happen at any moment. Anyone could appear from any direction.
Is that all?
No one came. Nothing happened at all. I saw it all. Which is to say that I saw nothing.
It was rather late at night. It's not hard to think there would be few people around in the park.
So, he just stood there watching? Not much to go on there. Trucy, if you've got something to say, by all means, say it. I can't find a single problem with that testimony.
Have you had enough at last? There, forehead.
Maybe it's time to back off a bit. He stood perfectly still for 10 minutes. I mean, that's a little unlikely, but... I don't know. I mean, I think Trucy has something to say. I don't know if there's anything that we can do here, but I'm gonna say no. The defense still has some questions that demand answers, Your Honor.
Your opinion, Prosecutor Gavin.
Oh. Let him play attorney until he's satisfied, I say. I will amuse myself by composing my next smash hit in my head.
Very well. You may continue. Cross-examination.
You think Trucy was telling me to back off? I don't know, I mean, maybe I'm supposed to back off, but I'm not sure. I don't think this cell phone is relevant yet. Because if anything, this was dropped before the crime happened. Sorry for just spinning it. I don't know, I might have to back off. There might, I mean, like, if Trucy's not going to say anything, I don't feel like I have anything here. Cause like, okay, I will say, I think where this is going is that Trucy is going to actually place this guy as the Panty Thief. Which means that we can place him at the Maractus Clinic. But I don't think I have anything unless Trucy gives me something here. Because there's nothing that... Yeah, I think...
Hold it!
And I do think it's weird that he just like stood there observing for 10 minutes, but... Maybe there's nothing left in this testimony after all.
Some of us have glamorous careers we'd like to get back to this month. Error forehead.
They don't have enough to put Waki away yet. Should I back off? I feel like this is like, it's I feel like it's gotta force me to back off. I don't know, I'm gonna back off. There's nothing fishy about that testimony. Besides the fact that he was just standing there.
It appears there is no objections to the witness's current testimony.
And there are any number of ways to explain the lack of prints on the pistol, I assure you. Perhaps the killer really was wearing gloves, which wiped the previous user's prints off. Then, after the deed was done, this fell out of his pocket as he was throwing the gun away. A mistake befitting of a small-time punk, in my opinion.
No. No!
It seems that we have come to the end of the line, dear.
No, that can't be all.
How unfortunate. Seems that you weren't cut out to stand on the same stage as me. Were you, Air Forehead?
It's a game over.
I believe this brings cross-examination to a close. The court will declare a verdict for the defendant, Waki Kitaki.
Hold it. Trucy! Nobody move!
What? What is the meaning of this? Who are you?
There'll be no verdict in this court. Not yet. Wait, are you one of the Kitakis?
The Kitakis? You mean the notorious gangsters?
If you don't want to see me give the pretty girl a new smile, do as I say. I can't give them a proper voice. So, adjourn the court for 20 minutes.
What? This court will not bow to pressure from the likes of...
Fair judge. I see little point in further aggravating this gentleman.
Recess. 20 minutes. Or I promise you, you'll regret it. Wait! How did he disappear so fast? Come to the defendant lobby, Apollo.
I suppose I have no choice but to adjourn for a 20-minute recess.
I don't think... Look, Apollo still has a sprained ankle. There's no way. Or Phoenix. Phoenix still has a... There's no way that was Phoenix. There's no way he would threaten Trucy like that. Phoenix still has a sprained ankle anyway.
Bailiff, catch that mysterious man.
To be continued. Okay. Yeah, I should go refill my water and at least refill my water and probably yeah. Short break's a good call here. And then we'll just hope that the next segment of the game is not like the 6 hours. But yeah. We'll see. Yeah, I guess I don't think there really was just nothing I could do there. Like that testimony was literally just like, I didn't chase the criminal. I called the police and I waited for the police to arrive. like there's not really anything you can do with that information. So yeah. I'm gonna go refill my water and take a short break so that hopefully I can keep the voices up. So I'll be back in a few minutes.
Cool. I'll give it a try.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry for being slow. But I got more water. I got a cookie, and we're reset. I think we're decently reset. Brain food. So let's jump back into it. Continue on to next chapter. Yes. June 16th, 11:17 a.m. District Court. Defendant lobby number 2. Trucy! Trucy! You move quick, Apollo. Good show. Good show. Oh, it was that was her. You move quick, Apollo. Good show. Good show. Trucy, you're okay. I thought. Don't cry, Apollo. Those good-for-nothing gangsters. There are some things you just don't do. I'm pressing charges. Wait. Just calm down, Apollo. Or else. What the heck is that? Wait, she kidnapped herself? Wait, you were right? I can't believe you were right. That's incredible. Trucy, you're so awesome. Okay. What the heck is that? Surprised. This is one of my best tricks. The amazing Mr. Hat. Wait, how do I do the voice for Mr. Hat? Wait, this is too many layers. So I'm supposed to voice Trucy, voicing Mr. Hat. How? That's too many layers of voice acting. My brain cannot process. Cause I'm just trying to imagine, like, I don't know. I only know how my own weird voice works, so. Okay, sorry. Well, yeah. I simply do not know. How often do we think Mr. Hat is gonna come up? Surely not that often, right? I think I'm just gonna use her voice because it's kind of funny. You? Yeah, that's the problem. So I'm supposed to voice Trucy doing an impression of a guy. It is one of her best tricks, so... Okay, I'll just commit to something.
Why, you look marvelous, darling.
He's a big hit on stage at the Wonder Bar.
Yes, I am a big hit.
Well, what do you think? Do you like it? You mean you... Trucy. I mean, personally, I love that. That's awesome. There are some things you just don't do. I'm pressing charges. Apollo, now is not the time to be threatening me. It's you who's being threatened here. Remember what you said to Waki's father yesterday. You promised you'd save his son. But that testimony was rock solid. What are you suggesting I do? Look, once the judge declares a verdict, it's all over. If I can use my talent to stop that from happening, I will. Trucy, no more staged abductions. Please. I can't handle it. I'm not talking about magic, Apollo. I know when the witness is not confident. I can perceive what he's feeling. It might not mean anything, but it's all that we've got. You can see what he is feeling. Think back, Apollo. Think back to all the times when there was a contradiction in his testimony. All of the times. All the times there was a contradiction. I remember. I think I remember them, sure. There were 2 times when he made statements he was not confident in. Each time there was a contradiction.
In his hand, he held, yes, a pistol. Tossing the pistol aside.
He said the man tossed aside a pistol. It turned out he wasn't sure, and sure enough, there was a contradiction. That's true, but how does it help us? Didn't you notice anything? Whenever he made a statement he was not confident in, he displayed a certain habit. Did you see it? The very moment he said the word pistol, his fingers got all tense, and he fiddled with the corner of a page in his book. I'm gonna be honest, I did not notice. How am I supposed to see that? Well, I could see it. How else do you think Daddy went 7 years without losing a game of poker? Oh, what? I always sat next to Daddy during big matches. I could see what his opponents were feeling. You mean that's how Mr. Right won all those games? It was thanks to you. It's not cheating. Officially, anyway. I wasn't looking at their hands or anything. And I wasn't there all the time either. Daddy is quite good at poker after all. Not good enough to go undefeated that long. Great, so he cheated. What does that do for us? I don't believe this. You have to listen to his testimony one more time. No, scratch that. You have to watch his testimony. Perceive the truth. Watch a testimony. Perceive the truth. The only thing I'm perceiving is that I'm going to lose. That is not true. Daddy said so. He said you have the power, Apollo. Mr. Right said that. Watch the testimony. Perceive his true feelings. Is she serious? Time is up. I'm sorry. I can't think of any other way out of this one, Apollo. What was it that she said before the trial started? He said his old foot injury. He smiled when he said we'd be fine, as long as you're there, Trucy. Is this what he meant by us being fine? Well, methods aside, she did avoid one guilty verdict already today. Time to show the court what I'm made of. Get ready for justice. Let's do it. Apollo. You know, I'm starting to think that I can do this. I knew you could do it all along. Oh, one more thing. You better try and cover for Mr. Hat as best as you can.
I just flew in from the coast.
and boy, are my arms tired.
Right. June 16th, 11:40 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 4.
Court is now back in session.
A quick summary. I don't know, nothing's happened. Trucy just told us to use body language to figure out when the witness is lying because there's no holes in his testimony on the surface. Right, we're fine.
I would like to say to the young lady standing next to you, Mr. Justice.
Oh, you mean me?
Don't you have anything to report? Anything concerning the Phantom in a top hat?
Right. Him. Don't worry about him. I settled that.
You settled that?
Yeah, it was, an out-of-court settlement. Right.
Well, perhaps Fraulein would have us believe it was nothing more than a passing dream. A fantastic illusion. Now you see it, now you don't. Am I right?
I think he's on to me. I wish that he would stop being so cool.
Well, let us dispense these niceties and get straight to the matter.
What are your plans? Sorry.
What are your plans for our gifted witness?
Right. The defense would like to request another cross-examination. Because I forgot to ask something.
There was no issue with the witness's previous testimony. I will grant your request, but the court will not permit stalling for time.
Understood, Your Honor. Don't forget Apollo. When he isn't sure about something, he has a habit of fiddling with his book. I could not prevent the killer from leaving the scene, nor could I simply leave the scene in good conscience. Ergo, I used my cell phone to call the police. Until the police arrived at the scene 10 minutes later, I saw no one else. I'm not sure I'm qualified to watch testimonies after all. Focus, Apollo. Find his weak spot. Focus. If only if it were that easy. My ears hear what he says, my eyes see his expression. Do I have to do something more? What other senses do I have? What's this? My bracelet. What's going on? My bracelet feels different somehow. I think that Daddy was right. You can see it, can't you, Apollo? You're almost there. Find the weak spot. I know this sounds crazy, but my bracelet's trying to tell me something. Do good lawyers all have mental powers? Apparently Apollo might.
Hold it!
So you called immediately after witnessing the murder.
The police undoubtedly have a record of the call. Why not check with them?
Wait, Apollo. That's not what he said before. This has to be it. You mean his habit? Don't forget, Apollo. The only time I even had the book open was here. Which means this is the place to look for his habit. I don't know how I know, but I know. No, what? It's my bracelet. It's different somehow. I can feel it reacting to something about the witness. Your bracelet. I'm not sure I get this focus stuff you're talking about, Trucy. But I have a feeling that trusting my bracelet is the way to go. I just need to touch my bracelet with R as it reacts. But yeah, don't you know, good lawyers always work with supernatural powers. I mean, throughout the first 3 games, Phoenix Wright's judicial assistant is a spirit medium. Yep. That's all we got to say about that. Perceive. What's going on? I can see the witness's face. His expression so clearly. It's filling my mind. I can see nothing else. Hear nothing else. This is kind of scary. Apollo. Trucy, what's happening to me? This is what I meant by focusing. Focusing. In this state, you can see everything, Apollo. Everything that the witness does. That's great, but this is kind of freaking me out. Just, look for Mr. Stickler's Twitch. His habit. You remember it, right? Sure, when he says something he's not sure if, he fiddles with a page on his book. You've got it. Right now, you're looking at the witness's face. And your eyes are sort of bugging out. I bet they are. First, move your focus of attention down to Mr. Stickler's hand. His hand. You know what to look for now. You have to be looking at the right place. She's right. I can only see his face like this. Time to try changing my viewpoint. Perfect. Now you're really ready. Ready for what? You are ready to perceive the truth behind the twitch. Perceive. Try listening to the witness talk as you focus. Then watch for the habit. Right. That's your signal to look closer. Perceive with R. Find his weak spot and I guarantee you will be able to give him the royal flush. Reach out for the truth. Heck yeah. Spoken like a true pokerhead's daughter. Well, I am a magician. Thank you very much. I have to pay attention to his words and his fingers. Don't worry. If you miss it, you can always try again. Look out for the nervous twitch. Here comes justice.
Gotcha!
Objection! I saw it just now. I could see it.
Mr. Justice, don't you have something to say?
All this banging of desks. It's quite bad for my circulation, you know.
Mr. Stickler, allow me to ask you a simple question. Why did you fiddle with the page of your book just now? The very moment that you mentioned your cell phone.
What are you talking about?
I'm curious now about this cell phone of yours. Mind if I ask you a few questions? What to ask? What to ask? Let me see your phone. Mr. Stickler, please show me your cell phone.
Why? Whatever for?
Show me and you'll find out.
Well, I can't. I don't have it, you see.
You don't have it.
Mr. Stickler, is this your cell phone? It is his phone! Wait, it's actually his phone. My theory. I can't believe. Oh no. Oh no. Okay.
Where did you get that?
That's the phone from yesterday. Someone dropped a phone here. I wonder if it belongs to the doctor. How strange, Mr. Stickler. Can you explain why your cell phone is sitting here in my hand at this very moment?
Wait a minute. What is the meaning of this?
This cell phone was found yesterday. In the Maractus Clinic garage.
The Maractus. Why, that's where the victim lived.
That's impossible.
Mr. Stickler, you lied to the court, didn't you? If your cell phone is here, how could you have called the police?
Yuck. It's true. I did not have my cell phone that night. That is why it can be said that I called the police from a public payphone.
Absolutely tragic music.
A payphone. You did not call on your cell phone after all.
Where was the payphone located, Mr. Stickler?
Well, to indicate it with a startlingly high degree of accuracy, it was right around here.
That's quite a ways from the park. But why did you lie?
There can only be one reason. He didn't want the court to know that he had lost his cell phone. Because it was found. Right, this also means that he was not watching over the crime scene for the entire time after the incident. It was found in the victim's garage.
What are you saying?
Mr. Stickler, you broke into the Maractus Clinic garage on the night of the murder. This cell phone tells it all.
But that's ridiculous. That makes it sound like I snuck into the fellow's garage to commit some crime.
I'm actually a little surprised I got you on that one for spamming symbols. Sorry. Dancing to the Turnabout song. Yay!
As though I were trying to kill him.
Well, Dr. Maractus was killed that night.
Well, yes, but no. This line of reasoning has to be against the rules. It is true that I lost my cell phone, but you can't prove I lost it that night.
Well, Mr. Justice, if that cell phone was dropped the night of the murder, it does raise considerable suspicion as to a connection with the crime.
Now's your chance, Apollo. Connect Mr. Stickler to the crime. He's already connected enough. I just gotta prove it. Well, do I have a piece of evidence that can do the job? Can I prove the cell phone was dropped on the night of the murder? Yes, I can. Of course I have evidence.
Oh, I like your swagger, Air Forehead. Hit it.
The court will see this evidence. Mr. Justice. Hit it, as they say.
The evidence that proves the cell phone was dropped on the night of the murder is this. Okay, so the train of logic here. No, never mind. That. Okay, the train of logic here is that we should present the car mirror. Because the cell phone was under the tires of the car, which means that the cell phone was dropped after the car was parked back in the garage, after the hit and run with Phoenix. Because the location where it happened to be dropped would have gotten it run over if the car had left the garage again. I think that's the train of logic that it wants me to go for. The only other thing that we have is the clock reading 9:35 or 25. Yeah. The only other thing that we have is the clock on the cell phone reading 9:25 p.m. Well, the problem is it's not p.m., so like that doesn't actually help us, which means we have to go with my initial train of logic and present the car mirror. The only other thing is Trucy's panties. That's the only other thing we could use for the train of logic here. It's one of those two things.
Take that!
Why, that is a side view mirror.
As it so happens, Dr. Maractus's car was in an accident that took place the night of the murder.
An accident?
An accident. It happened a little after 9 p.m., just outside People Park, our murder scene. Dr. Maractus's car hit a pedestrian.
Or, well, what are you trying to say?
From the absence of the mirror, it's clear that the car was parked after the accident. Which means it was parked there after 9 p.m. on the night of the murder. If your cell phone had been dropped before the car was parked in the garage, it would have been crushed. After all, it was lying on the ground, right under the wheel. Ergo, Mr. Stickler. The only time you could have dropped the cell phone in that garage was after 9 p.m. on the night of the murder in the park. Mr. Stickler, you know what this means. You did break into the victim's garage that night.
Well, this is most unexpected, Mr. Justice. Are you naming this witness as a suspect in the murder of Paul Palmeractus?
No! Stop! This is too much. This cannot be happening. Prosecutor, say something.
Well, I do suppose it is worth saying this. No connection has been found between Wesley Stickler and Palmeractus. That is, other than this.
I believe our next testimony will be most revelatory. Is the witness prepared?
Yes, Your Honor.
I know that face. That's the face of guilt. Stickler's truth.
Now tonight. Yes, I went to the supermarket. I must have dropped my cell phone on the way back. When I was walking through the park, I happened to witness the crime. I saw the killer, the victim, the stand, all clear as day. It was him. I saw the defendant at the scene.
Yes. However, your cell phone was lying in a garage.
Yes. Well, as you can see, my model of cell phone has a defect. It is given to rolling. It is quite a pain when I drop it alongside the road, you know.
Well, that looks like a normal cell phone to me. In any case, Mr. Justice, cross-examination, please.
It's funny. My bracelet didn't react at all during the testimony. Well, his nervous habit must not be acting up. I didn't sense anything either, actually. Looks like you're on your own this time around. No problem, I hope. Here comes justice.
Hold it!
So you went shopping, which means you were holding a grocery bag when you witnessed the murder.
Well, yes, of course.
Well, incidentally, the prosecution has received no report of this domestic detail.
Mr. Stickler, can you explain yourself?
No, I mean yes. I did go shopping. Really? I walked around the supermarket trying out free samples. It's a deeply spiritual time for me.
I am sure that the store clerks would disagree.
Do you think sampling free food counts as a religion? Supermarkets don't give out free samples at night. Yeah, I don't know.
In any case, that night, I sampled to my heart's content and was on my way back home. Yes.
Hold it!
That's when you passed in front of the Maractus clinic.
Why? Yes, that is correct.
Well, it's like it's not objection. We're asking him to hold up so that we can ask him questions. That was a pretty suspicious pause there. Mr. Stickler, could you be a bit more specific? Show us the exact route you took on the night of the murder.
Of course. The supermarket is here, along the main road. My way home from there takes me past Maractus Clinic. This is probably when I dropped my cellular phone. Yet, woe is I walked on unaware of my loss. And walked right into the fateful park.
Which entrance did you enter the park from?
Well, to be exact, one might say I went in from the entrance closest to Maractus Clinic.
Well, that is the same entrance that our victim used.
Did you notice anything when you entered? Wheel marks from a noodle stand, for instance?
I have no recollection of such a thing. No. Yet, though I might have missed the tracks, I could not have missed what happened next. I am a keen observer of the obvious, you might say.
Hold it!
This part of the testimony is key. I know it. Should I press him about the killer, the victim, or the noodle stand? You can see the victim quite clearly as well.
Oh, clear as clear can be, I assure you.
I see, so how'd he look?
How do you mean? Be specific.
In general.
The defense will refrain from straining to come up with questions. Find the question that lies in your heart and ask that.
Yes, Your Honor. Great. A judge who moonlights as the self-help guru. His habit is not acting up, which means he's not lying. He's pretty unsettled. The odds are really high that you can get something out of him. That gleam in your eyes. You're a gambler's daughter through and through. I am a magician, thank you. Very much. The noodle stand. Do you happen to remember the noodle stand?
Quite well, yes. For a student of the sciences, keen observation and healthy curiosity are vital. I remember everything. I could even read the sign. I believe it said, noodle. Yes, that was it.
For remembering something quite well, it sure took you a while to tell us.
Wait,
And thank you for telling us that a noodle stand sells noodles. Very enlightening. Well, Mr. Justice,
what about that sign? That's incredibly important. The sign on the noodle stand said noodle. It appears the defense has just obtained a vital piece of testimony.
is this noodle stand's broth that delicious? I'll have to go sample the wares one of these days. I think that is worth adding to the testimony as well.
Whatever sort of noodles the stand sells, it cannot match up to IVU's cafeteria. So apply to the school merely for a taste of our smart noodles.
I wouldn't mind a taste of that myself.
I even remember the sign on the stand the victim was pulling. It said noodle.
So, I will have you note, the reason why this is important is because it only says noodle on one side of the stand, which means in the setup where the which means when the person pulling the stand would have had to turn right to look at the victim when he shouted at them. Which means if he was actually shot at the moment that the witness here is describing, he would have been shot in the left side of the head instead of the right. So the sign said noodle. You're absolutely sure.
Let me be frank. Yes. In fact, the word unsure is not even in my dictionary. Nor the word uncertain or...
He was wasting time looking that stuff up.
noodle. Hey, I like that. It tells you what you're getting. No nonsense.
Tells me a lot more than that, actually. Why are you smiling like that, Apollo?
Objection!
This evidence clearly reveals a contradiction. Well, okay, sorry. I'll present the noodle stand itself.
Objection!
You're absolutely sure the sign read noodle.
Just last week, my professor offered me this praise. At least you have good eyesight, Stickler. I will give you that. It read without a doubt. Noodle.
I see.
What? Why are you looking at me like that? Is it pity that I see in your eyes?
Let's take a look at our map, shall we? You're claiming that when you saw the sign, you were standing here, was it? Although, it would have been a bit hard to read the sign from this spot.
You think so?
Mr. Stickler, I would like you to please take another look at the noodle stand and to carefully read what the sign says. The sign actually states the name of the stand's owner, L. Dunes.
L. Dunes. Inconceivable. I'm certain it was Noodle. For sure. Absolutely. Positive.
I am afraid your professor was wrong about your eyesight.
I wouldn't be so quick to jump to that conclusion. The sign he saw changes everything. The witness says the sign said noodle, and he saw it right. What would you say if I told you? There's one spot from which the sign would be read the way Mr. Stickler claims.
What?
Mr. Justice, show us this spot.
The witness actually viewed the stand from this location. Like here, I don't know.
Take that!
The witness was standing here, on the opposite side.
How do you know that?
When viewed from the south, the sign on the stand reads L. Dunes, as we know. However, observe the other side of the stand.
Oh, this side says noodle.
Exactly. The name of the stand is split between the front and back signs. Mr. Stickler, you lied to the court. You witnessed the crime from the northern side of the park, not the southern side.
Here!
Objection!
You got me!
So, what?
So what?
What does it matter if he saw the killing from the north or the south side? It makes no difference at all.
He's right. Travel far enough to the south and you'll end up going north. Viewed on a global scale, directions are utterly without meaning.
Actually, maybe he's right. What does it change? Why, it changes everything. Apollo. Trucy, remember his testimony from before? Though, to be honest, I'm a little scared of where this is leading. The killer and the victim are facing each other here. Then, at the moment the killer raises the weapon, Mr. Stickler shouts, at which point the victim turns his head to look, and the killer fires his pistol. Yeah, see, I got the full train of thought. Wait. Was he shot from inside of the noodle stand? That is why the bullet hit him in the right temple. No contradictions, correct? Right. But if Mr. Stickler was on the north side of the park, that reverses the whole scenario. Completely. If Mr. Stickler shouts from where he is now, and the victim looks in his direction, the bullet would have hit his left temple. Oh yeah, also, can I get a height check on Waki Kitaki versus the height of the victim? I don't know if that's relevant here, but... Sorry, I was just thinking, because, like, unless they're about the same height, or Waki is taller, I mean, I guess the victim was kind of hunched over to pull the noodle stand. But yeah, I don't know. Angle of entry wound, but maybe that doesn't matter. In other words, someone standing at point K could not shoot the victim in the right temple. It was impossible.
Why, that's right.
So, now we know that Mr. Stickler was standing on the northern side. The wound location takes an entirely different meaning.
Why, indeed. You are absolutely right, Fraulein.
What meaning?
The entry wound was on the right side of the victim's head, correct? Well, the right side of the victim's head is north.
North. Ah. That is where the witness was standing.
Correct. So if he was standing to the north, then the only person here who could have shot the victim in the right temple was Mr. Stickler himself.
Order. Order. Order.
The apple did not fall far from the tree. She's flipped the whole case on its head while I was still figuring it out.
Objection!
Oh. Clarify one point for me if you would. Her forehead.
What now?
Are you truly accusing this college student of murder?
I can't say he exactly looks innocent, but something still doesn't feel right. I can't picture him as a real killer.
No! Please! Looks aside, I'm really a nice guy. All of my friends say so.
Let us hear what the defense has to say.
What are you going to do now, Justice? Should I really accuse Mr. Stickler? I don't think he's the murderer. Like, I don't think he's the murderer, but I do want to accuse him of another crime because it's funny. I don't think Wesley Stickler's a killer, but he's not innocent either. His unusual silence tells me that much. Hansu Steeler. Yeah. Mr. Stickler, you seem unusually quiet. Tell us why. Now.
The word confession is not in my dictionary.
Tisk. Tisk tisk tisk. I can't do that in the voice. Tisk tisk tisk.
Her forehead. I'm afraid it falls to you to elucidate Air Stickler's silence.
Mr. Justice, you did say you were accusing the witness just now for a crime other than murder. Your reason. The court is all ears.
I know he's guilty of something. What other crime is there? Do I have evidence that shows his involvement in some other crime?
Your evidence? The court's all eyes, Mr. Justice. Show us the evidence that points to the witness's involvement in the crime.
There's only one thing to do now.
Take that!
The evidence is this.
What? It is that? Women's underwear.
Hey, those are mine.
Don't look at me like that!
That pause was so funny.
Order. Order. Mr. Stickler. While I cannot say this comes as a shock,
It's not what it seems by Pythagoras' theorem. I swear it. Wait. By Pythagoras' theorem. I swear it.
Pythagorilla. Pythagorilla. On the night of the murder, just past 9 p.m., a young girl catches a panty snatcher, red-handed. Bravely, she gives chase, but they flee, and hides himself in no other place than the Maractus Clinic garage. Incidentally, these panties were found in the exhaust pipe of the car there. Presumably, he was trying to hide the evidence of his crime. Ergo, while you may not be a murderer, you are guilty of panty snatching in the 1st degree.
Please, hear me out. It's not what it looks like.
order, order. Mr. Stickler, you should be ashamed.
It's not what it seems.
Sorry. That was a much longer seams than I was expecting. Water. Sorry.
So, we to understand? You were silent not because you are guilty of murder, but because you lacked the courage to admit your theft of this girl's undergarments.
Ahem. Perhaps you are not aware that my school's name was originally written IV. I stands for intelligent and V stands for valiant. See?
Your point.
I'm not done. No, I'm a major in the science department. And what does science teach if not curiosity? Yes, we of the IVU science department are valiantly curious. No challenge is too daunting.
Objection!
And what great...
And no, what's challenge? What a... Sorry. No challenge is too daunting. And what greater challenge to science than a mystery?
Come on. You're talking about a girl's panties here. It's like telling me to take off my clothes for science. No. No, you do not understand. A mystery is the unknown, and the unknown is unacceptable. And my friends, when it comes to the mysteries, why? He's doubling down. This is not a line that I thought I would have to read today. And my friends, when it comes to mysteries, those pennies are the promised land. From the moment I first laid eyes on them, I was compelled to... I can't do this. How am I supposed to read this with a straight face? Okay. From the moment I first laid eyes on them, I was compelled to investigate for science. A full-size car tire was only the first mystery those pennies revealed. A tire. Yes, I saw her do it. She pulled a tire out of those pennies. But that's not all. First, there was a tire, and then a stew pot, and then a frozen chicken. One mystery after another. It was magic. Oh, I remember now. He's one of the regulars in the audience at the Wonder Bar. Huh? He is talking about my magic penny trick. I just don't understand. A broom from a pair of panties. It mocks the very laws of physics. A broom and a frozen chicken? Trucy. Whatever happened to doves and bunny rabbits?
Mr. Stickler, you stole the girl's panties to understand a magic trick.
You say panties, but they are so much more than that. For me, they are an object of serious study.
I wonder. There has to be a recent rash of panty snatchings in the area. Were they all you?
I am sorry, but I did it for science. I'm I'm not ready to read this monologue. I'm not mentally prepared. No, I'm so committed to the bit. I have to read it. I have to read it, but I'm not ready. I have to. It's too funny not to. Okay, I'll try to steal my resolve. I challenge my fate.
I am sorry, but I did it for science. Each time I spied a pair of panties flapping in the breeze, I thought maybe this would be the pair that would elucidate the mystery. Even that night as she chased me through the streets, I wept with tears of joy. Perhaps this is the night when I will seize the truth that lies within those panties. Yet, woe was I, for once again, the lacy heart pattern truth slipped through my fingers like
Gavel.
Still, that leaves one thing unexplained.
There you go. I read it. That's... Okay. Sure.
Ah. You refer to our witness's other lie. Yeah. You refer to our witness's other lie. Yes. The witness claimed he saw the crime from the south, but it was in fact to the north.
Yeah, I'll have to refill my water in a minute anyway, because too many male characters here. The judge is kind of a tough voice, but he's the only one really out of these so far.
Indeed.
But yeah.
Would anyone care to explain why he lied about that?
Well, be my guest, Herr Forehead.
Me.
Did I not hear you correctly? Did you not say you do not accuse the witness of murder? Why then, did the witness lie about his location at the time of the shooting? Or have you no idea?
Apollo. There's something about the way the diagram is arranged right now. When you think about it right near where Stickler was standing, isn't there a...
Well, Mr. Justice. What say you? Do you have any evidence to show why the witness lied about his location?
I think he lied about his location because of the other pair of panties that I have.
Take that!
The evidence that shows why he lied is this.
What? What? More panties.
The insinuation. Were they actually just in Apollo's pockets? The look on Clavier's face. Thank you for that one. Okay.
Well, how many panties are you carrying in your pocket? Hair, forehead.
These are the last. Honest. These were found in a trash can at the park. Looking at the diagram, we can see that the trash can was right next to where the witness was standing.
Mr. Stickler, you didn't.
Alas! I am a failure as a scientist. I can't unravel the mysteries of the universe. I cannot even unravel a pair of panties.
So, these panties are your handiwork as well.
That night, I had been chased, hounded into the Maractus Clinic garage. Weeping in frustration, I was forced to abandon my prize. Don't you see how I felt?
Believe me, I'd rather not.
I hid in the garage for a short while. Then abandoning the panties, I made for home. To avoid the office where the girl works, I used the southern entrance. When I saw them hanging on a clothesline by a giant mansion. A giant pair of panties.
Apparently, he did not know that those bloomers belonged to the mob. Yeah, and these are our little plum kitakis. Oh yeah, also, sorry, this is just important to note. The printing on the back. Yep.
I had them safe in my pocket, ready to take home, when I stumbled upon a murder.
The murder of Dr. Maractus.
I reported what I had seen, but as I waited for the police to arrive, I got scared. What if they searched me?
That's when you disposed of the bloomers.
Yes. It was a severe blow to the progress of science, but one that had to be borne.
Well, that is a fascinating, if disturbing, tale. I believe this brings today's proceedings to a close. And I am more than pleased to dismiss this witness for the remainder of the trial.
Well, one last thing, if I might.
Yes, Prosecutor Gavin.
Regardless of where we ended today, some vital points were made. Namely, the defendant was at the scene of the crime. And he was pointing a weapon at the victim. One more thing. Walkie-Talkie has a clear motive.
Indeed, the defendant Walkie-Talkie is still prime suspect in the case. The only suspect, in fact, assuming no one else was at the scene of the crime. Yet a mystery remains. The location of the wound in the victim's right temple has yet to be explained. The court requests further investigation from both defense and prosecution.
Yeah, baby.
No problem.
Very well. This brings the trial for the day to a close. The court is adjourned.
Nice. Okay. We made it through the first day of the trial. This is good. But yeah. Summary for Lurker. We don't know where the victim was actually shot from. If the witness today was telling the truth, then it probably was not the defendant. Which we assume it's not the defendant, because otherwise, what's my job? Yeah. So, we don't know exactly where the victim was shot from, or necessarily when. But, well, we do know when. But there's a weird time window. Yeah, we only accused him of being an underwear thief. Which he was. Yeah. And... yeah. So we solved that crime, at least. But yeah, we still, yep, he definitely made sure that, that we knew that he committed that crime. Yeah, so it's gonna send us to another round of investigation. Af- After that, I don't think I have the energy to actually survive an investigation. So, I think for Ace Attorney, I'm probably gonna wrap up here for tonight. But after I take a little bit of a break, then I might come back and stream something else for a little while. Because those voices kind of take a lot of energy. Yeah. So, thanks everyone for sticking around and watching. I hope you have a good rest of your day or evening, and I'll be back in like, I don't know, in like 30 minutes or something, if I decide what to play. And yeah. That was certainly Ace Attorney. So, we caught a panty thief. Job done. Case closed.